Welcome, chosen one. You are here for a reason. Your journey has been anything but easy. You've endured trials that others cannot comprehend, walked paths that seemed endless, and carried burdens that made you question everything. You've felt the weight of isolation, the sting of rejection, and the deep ache of unanswered prayers. But let me remind you, God sees your pain and He hears your cry. Your struggles have not gone unnoticed, and your silent tears have not been in vain. In a world filled with uncertainty, we often find ourselves trapped in cycles of worry, desperately trying to control what is beyond our reach. We fear the unknown, resist change, and question why our journey has been filled with hardship. But what if I told you that your pain has a purpose? That every setback, every disappointment, and every unanswered prayer is part of a divine orchestration far greater than what you can perceive. Today, we are going to uncover the fundamental truth that will set you free. You were never meant to carry this weight alone. God is calling you to surrender, to trust, and to let go of the illusion of control. We will explore the difference between pain and suffering, learn how to align our desires with divine purpose, and most importantly, embrace the unknown with unwavering faith. Before we dive in, I want you to take a moment and affirm your faith. Type 77 in the comments as a sign of your trust in God's plan. Let this be your declaration that you are ready to let go of fear, ready to embrace your divine path, and ready to walk forward in faith. Now let's begin. Pain vs. suffering, the power of perspective. Pain is inevitable. It is woven into the fabric of life. No soul escapes it, no matter how righteous, enlightened, or spiritually awakened they may be. Pain can come in many forms: physical hardship, emotional turmoil, spiritual doubt. It is a universal experience, yet the way we respond to it defines the course of our lives. Suffering, however, is not the same as pain. Suffering is a mental state. It is the resistance to pain, the internal battle against reality. Pain is what happens, suffering is what we choose to do with it. When we reject our circumstances, when we question why things are happening to us, when we dwell on what should have been or what could be, we create suffering. Imagine you are carrying a heavy stone. The weight is undeniable. It presses upon your shoulders. But suffering is when you grip that stone tighter, refuse to set it down, and curse its presence. The stone itself is neutral, neither good nor bad. It simply exists. In the same way, our pain is a part of life, but it is our reaction to it that determines whether we find peace or despair. God does not promise a life without pain, but He does offer a way through it. Jesus Himself endured suffering beyond imagination, yet He did not resist His path. He accepted it with grace, knowing that every wound served a purpose. What if we too could view our hardships as sacred? What if, instead of resisting, we embraced them as part of our divine refinement? Suffering ends where acceptance begins. The moment we stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What is God teaching me?" that is the moment we reclaim our power. Every painful experience is either a lesson or a redirection. When we trust that even our struggles are part of God's greater plan, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering, trusting God's plan even when it doesn't make sense. The greatest test of faith is trusting God when nothing makes sense. It is easy to believe when everything is going well, when doors open, when prayers are answered, when life unfolds effortlessly. But true faith is forged in the silence, in the waiting, in the moments when God seems distant and nothing aligns with what we envisioned. There will be times in your life when you feel lost, confused, and abandoned. You will look at your efforts and see no results. You will pray and hear nothing in return. You will wonder if you have been forgotten. But hear this: God's silence is not His absence. His delays are not His denials. Every unanswered prayer is a redirection, every closed door is a protection, and every setback is a setup for something greater. Imagine a child trying to solve a puzzle. They may not understand why certain pieces don't fit, why some areas remain incomplete, or why the bigger picture is unclear. But the parent, who sees the full design, knows exactly how each piece will eventually come together. In the same way, we see fragments, while God sees the full masterpiece. Your journey is not meant to be understood in its entirety right now. If you knew every detail, every outcome, every step before it happened, there would be no need for faith. But faith is the very essence of your walk as a chosen one. It is in trusting that even when life seems chaotic, God is still in control. When you stop worrying and start trusting, you shift from fear to peace. You begin to understand that even in the midst of uncertainty, you are exactly where you need to be. You may not see it now, but one day you will look back and realize that every hardship, every detour, and every delay was preparing you for something far greater than you ever imagined. Aligning your desires with divine purpose. We all have desires. We long for success, love, security, happiness. We set goals, chase dreams, and work tirelessly to achieve them. But have you ever stopped to ask, are my desires aligned with God's will? Not all desires come from a place of purity. Some are born from ego, fear, or comparison. We see others thriving and we want what they have. We equate success with external validation, measuring our worth by worldly standards. But what if the things we crave are not truly meant for us? What if they are distractions, not blessings? God's plan is not about temporary gratification. It is about eternal purpose. When you align your desires with divine will, you begin to experience fulfillment that goes beyond material success. But how do you know if your desires are in alignment? Ask yourself these questions. Does this desire bring love, peace, and joy to my life and others? Does it uplift, inspire, or serve a greater good? Would I still pursue it if no one else were watching? Am I seeking this because my soul longs for it, or because my ego craves it? If your desires align with God's principles, love, faith, service, and growth, then trust that He will either grant them or give you something even better. But if your desires stem from selfish ambition, resentment, or fear, they may lead you away from your true calling. Surrendering to divine purpose means being willing to let go of what you think you want in order to receive what God knows you need. It means trusting that what is meant for you will never pass you by. It means understanding that God's delays are not rejections, but divine redirections. When your heart beats in rhythm with God's will, your desires will no longer feel like an uphill battle. You will no longer chase, you will attract. You will no longer beg, you will receive. You will no longer force, you will flow. Trust that if something is meant for you, it will come not by force, but by divine alignment. And if something is removed, let it go with grace, knowing that what awaits you is far greater than anything you could imagine. Letting go, the true test of faith. Letting go is one of the hardest things a chosen one will ever do. It goes against every instinct, every impulse, every desire to control, to fix, to force outcomes. We hold on because we believe that if we just try harder, push further, or cling tighter, things will work out the way we envision. But what if holding on is precisely what's preventing your blessing from arriving? The truth is, the need for control is rooted in fear. Fear that if we don't act, things will fall apart. Fear that if we release something, we'll lose it forever. But here's what God wants you to understand. What is meant for you cannot be taken from you, and what is not meant for you will never stay, no matter how hard you hold on. Think of a person clutching sand in their hands. The tighter they grip, the more the sand slips through their fingers. But when they open their palm, the sand remains, resting gently without force. This is how life works. The things meant for you will come with ease when you stop trying to control every detail. Letting go is not about giving up. It is about surrendering. It is an act of radical trust in God's wisdom. It means releasing your timeline and embracing His. It means walking away from situations that no longer serve you without resentment or regret. It means loosening your grip on outcomes and saying, Lord, I trust you. Even if things don't go the way I planned, I know you have something better for me. Look back on your life. How many times did something not work out, only for you to realize later that it was a blessing in disguise? How many times did God close a door, only to open one far greater? Letting go is a test of faith, because it requires believing in something you cannot yet see. It requires choosing peace over panic, trust over control, and divine wisdom over personal understanding. When you stop clinging to what is falling apart, you make space for something greater. When you stop fighting against life, you step into divine flow. And when you finally let go, you realize that God was never asking you to do this alone. He was waiting for you to hand it over to Him all along. The importance of patience, divine timing is perfect. We live in a world that worships speed. Everything is instant communication, instant results, instant gratification. But God does not operate on human timing. He does not rush. He does not delay. His timing is always perfect, even when it doesn't align with our expectations. The greatest lessons in faith are often learned in the waiting. There will be moments when you feel like your prayers are unheard, your efforts are unseen, and your struggles are endless. You will question why things are taking so long, why others seem to move ahead while you remain stagnant. But the truth is, God's delays are not His denials, they are His preparations. Consider a seed planted in the soil. It does not sprout overnight. It requires time in the darkness, hidden beneath the surface, growing roots before it ever breaks through. If someone were to dig it up prematurely, they would kill what was meant to bloom. In the same way, when we demand things before their appointed time, we sabotage our own blessings. God is not just preparing the blessing for you, He is preparing you for the blessing. If you receive something too soon, you may not be equipped to handle it. If you step into a position before you are spiritually matured, it may overwhelm you. The waiting season is not wasted. It is the most valuable part of the journey. It is where faith is tested, patience is strengthened, and character is refined. Do not mistake stillness for stagnation. Just because you cannot see the progress does not mean it isn't happening. The greatest transformations occur beneath the surface, in the unseen realms of spiritual development. Trust that what is meant for you is already on its way, moving toward you in divine timing. Waiting is not about passivity, it is about preparation. Use this time wisely. Grow in wisdom, develop your gifts, deepen your faith. And when the appointed time comes, you will not only receive what you have been praying for, you will be ready for it. Faith is the foundation of manifestation. Everything begins with faith. Before anything is seen, before anything is created, before anything manifests in the physical world, it is first conceived in the realm of belief. Faith is not just hoping for something. It is the unwavering knowing that what you seek is already on its way, even when there is no evidence yet. The problem is many people claim to have faith, but only when things are going well. They believe in God's plan when life is smooth, but the moment they face obstacles, their faith wavers. But true faith is not believing because of what you see, it is believing despite what you see. It is standing firm when everything looks impossible. It is declaring, God is working, even when there is no proof. Think about the great figures of faith, Abraham, who was told he would father nations even when he was old and childless. Moses, who was called to part the Red Sea with only a staff. Noah, who built an ark before a single drop of rain fell. They did not wait for confirmation. They moved in faith, and the miracles followed. Faith does not wait for evidence, it creates evidence. When you truly believe, you align yourself with the frequency of what you seek. Doubt delays, fear blocks, but faith accelerates. God moves through those who trust Him completely, not those who demand proof before taking the first step. If you find yourself struggling with faith, ask yourself, are you placing your trust in God or in your circumstances? Because circumstances change, but God remains the same. If He has given you a vision, a dream, a calling, it is already yours. Your only job is to step forward in faith, knowing that He will provide everything you need at the perfect time, finding peace in every season of life. Life is full of seasons. There will be seasons of abundance, where everything flows effortlessly, and seasons of drought, where nothing seems to move. There will be seasons of joy and celebration, and seasons of grief and uncertainty. The key to spiritual mastery is not resisting these seasons, but embracing them. Most suffering comes from fighting against what is. We wish the past was different. We wish the future would arrive sooner. We cling to what no longer serves us and fear what we cannot control. But peace is found in acceptance, in recognizing that every phase of life is necessary for our growth. A tree does not resist the winter. It does not fight to keep its leaves when the cold arrives. It lets them go, trusting that new ones will grow in due time. And when spring returns, it blossoms effortlessly, without force, without struggle. What if we lived this way? What if, instead of resisting the changes of life, we trusted them? Your trials are not punishments, they are preparations. Your setbacks are not failures, they are lessons. Your delays are not denials, they are divine timing at work. When you stop fighting life and start flowing with it, you will discover a peace that is unshakable, a peace that surpasses all understanding. Wherever you are in this moment, be there fully. If you are in a season of struggle, trust that it is shaping you. If you are in a season of stillness, trust that it is strengthening you. If you are in a season of abundance, share your blessings with others. Peace is not found in perfect circumstances. It is found in trusting that every season serves its purpose. The moment you stop wishing for life to be different and start embracing it as it is, you will find the deep, abiding peace that only God can provide. Conclusion, a message of hope and encouragement. Chosen one, take a deep breath. Let these words sink into your soul. You are exactly where you need to be. Every tear, every challenge, every unanswered prayer has been seen by God. Nothing you have endured has been in vain. The pain you've carried, the doubts you've wrestled with, the moments you felt abandoned, they have all been part of something greater, something divine, something beyond human understanding. You were never meant to figure it all out on your own. You were never meant to carry burdens that were too heavy for you. That is why God is calling you now to let go, to trust, to release the need to know every detail and instead rest in the certainty that He knows. When you surrender, you don't lose control, you gain peace. You now understand the difference between pain and suffering. Pain is a part of life, but suffering is the choice to resist. When you embrace what is instead of wishing for what isn't, you step into alignment with divine wisdom. You have learned that trust is not about seeing the path ahead, it's about walking forward even in darkness, knowing that God has already cleared the way. And now, you know that patience is not a punishment, but a preparation. If you are in a season of waiting, do not despair. What is meant for you is already written, and nothing can take it away. Let go of control. Release the need to force outcomes. Trust that what is meant for you will come, and what is not meant for you will fall away. Stop living in fear of the unknown and start embracing the beauty of divine timing. Walk in faith, not by sight, because faith is the foundation of everything. When you trust, when you surrender, when you align your will with God's, you step into a life of peace, purpose, and power. So, my dear chosen one, do not be discouraged. Your journey is not a mistake. Every detour has been designed to lead you to something greater. What you have lost, God will restore. What you have prayed for, He has heard. And what you are waiting for is already on its way. Let go of worry, embrace trust, and move forward in faith. If this message has spoken to your heart, if you feel the weight of divine confirmation, I encourage you to engage with this moment. Share your thoughts in the comments, let your voice be heard, and allow this space to be a sanctuary for those walking the same path. And as you continue your journey, know that you are never alone. God is with you, He sees you, He hears you, and He is leading you home.